Imagine waking up every day knowing that you have the power to shape your future, to direct your actions, and to control the narrative of your life. Mastery of self isn't a distant dream or an unattainable ideal. It's a choice, a mindset, and a practice. It begins with the understanding that you are not a passive observer in your own life, but the primary architect of your destiny. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every thought you entertain has the potential to propel you forward or hold you back. The journey to mastering yourself requires courage, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to growth. It demands that you take full ownership of your life, free from the excuses or blame that hold so many people back. When you step into this power, you start to see challenges as opportunities and setbacks as lessons. You become the force that drives your success, the author of your story, and the one who holds the pen. So the question is, are you ready to take control? Are you ready to stop waiting for change and start creating it? Today we explore how to master yourself and unlock your limitless potential. Mastering yourself begins with a deep level of self-awareness, a foundational element that sets the stage for every decision, action, and interaction you experience. Self-awareness is more than just a passing thought or a casual observation about your behaviors. It's an ongoing process of understanding who you truly are at your core. This understanding encompasses your strengths, weaknesses, desires, emotions, triggers, and the thought patterns that influence your behavior. It's about seeing yourself with honesty, acknowledging both the light and the shadow within. Self-awareness means recognizing your emotional responses and understanding what fuels them. We all have patterns of behavior that are often conditioned by past experiences, upbringing, or society's expectations. But when you're aware of these patterns, you can begin to challenge them and choose a different path. For example, if you find yourself reacting impulsively in stressful situations, self-awareness allows you to pause and ask yourself why you're reacting this way. It invites you to reflect on the emotions beneath the surface and consider healthier, more thoughtful responses. By doing so, you begin to regain control over your actions rather than letting emotions dictate your behavior. It's not just about recognizing when things go wrong, but also celebrating when things go right. Mastering yourself involves recognizing the moments of success and understanding what contributed to them. It's important to take the time to reflect on your accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. This allows you to identify what strengths you can leverage in the future. At the same time, it helps to understand areas where you could improve, making it easier to adapt and grow. Self-awareness allows you to see both sides of the coin and gives you a more balanced perspective on your journey. One of the most powerful aspects of self-awareness is the ability to identify your core values. These are the principles and beliefs that guide your decisions and shape your worldview. When you are truly aware of what matters most to you, you are better equipped to make decisions that align with your authentic self. For example, if you value honesty, self-awareness will encourage you to act with integrity even when it's difficult. It will help you steer clear of situations where compromise of your values might occur. This level of awareness helps you stay grounded in your personal truth, creating consistency and reliability in your actions. Self-awareness also plays a significant role in your relationships with others. Understanding your emotions and how you communicate is key to building strong, healthy connections. When you are aware of your emotional triggers, you can approach conversations and conflicts with more empathy and patience. It prevents misunderstandings and allows you to listen actively without defensiveness. When you can be honest with yourself about your feelings, it's easier to express them to others without projecting your insecurities or unresolved issues onto them. This fosters a deeper connection with people as they feel seen, heard, and understood. Moreover, it helps you identify the people and environments that elevate you, allowing you to make conscious choices about who you surround yourself with. Another crucial aspect of self-awareness is the ability to take responsibility for your actions and emotions. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming external circumstances or people when things go wrong. However, self-awareness demands that you look inward. It encourages you to take ownership of how you respond to situations and how your actions impact others. This sense of accountability helps you grow as you no longer see yourself as a passive participant in life, but as an active creator of your experiences. By being aware of your role in your life story, you empower yourself to make conscious choices that lead to personal growth and success. Moreover, self-awareness creates clarity in your decision-making. When you understand who you are, you're able to make decisions that reflect your authentic desires and needs. You're no longer swayed by external pressures, social expectations, or the opinions of others. Instead, you make choices that align with your values, priorities, and long-term goals. Whether it's deciding on a career path, a relationship, or where to invest your energy, self-awareness ensures that your decisions are grounded in your true self, leading to fulfillment and peace of mind. Self-awareness also enables you to handle change and challenges more effectively. Life is unpredictable and change is inevitable. But when you are in tune with yourself, you are better equipped to adapt to new circumstances without losing your sense of self. You don't get rattled by uncertainty because you have a clear understanding of who you are and what you want out of life. When faced with challenges, instead of reacting impulsively or getting stuck in a cycle of frustration, you approach them with the mindset of growth. You understand that challenges are opportunities to learn more about yourself and to refine your skills. At its core, self-awareness is a tool for empowerment. It gives you the clarity and confidence to make choices that reflect who you truly are, not who society or other people want you to be. It allows you to navigate the world with a sense of purpose, knowing that each decision you make is aligned with your true essence. By consistently practicing self-awareness, you create a solid foundation for personal mastery. The more you understand yourself, the more control you have over your life, and the more empowered you are to shape your own destiny. Ultimately, mastering yourself begins with self-awareness. It's the first step in a continuous journey of self-improvement where you learn, grow, and evolve into the person you are destined to be. With self-awareness, you unlock the potential to achieve greatness, not because you've mastered every aspect of your life, but because you've gained the insight to keep striving toward your highest self-mastering. Yourself is not about waiting for motivation to strike. It's about cultivating discipline, a consistent force that carries you through even when inspiration seems distant. Motivation, while powerful in spurts, is fleeting. It comes and goes depending on circumstances, mood, and external influences. Discipline, on the other hand, is a steady internal commitment that pushes you forward regardless of how you feel in the moment. It is the quiet power that keeps you on track when the excitement of starting something new fades and the challenges of persistence set in. To master yourself, you must embrace the power of discipline over the unreliable nature of motivation. The first key to developing discipline is consistency. It's easy to get excited about a new project or goal, but the true test of mastery comes when the initial excitement wanes. Discipline ensures that you continue to put in the effort day after day, even when it feels like you're not making progress. The trick is to show up, regardless of how you feel or how long the journey seems. Whether you're working on a personal project, improving your fitness, or developing a new skill, consistency in your actions, even the smallest steps, will eventually lead to significant results. Over time, this consistency builds momentum, turning your actions into habits that require less effort to maintain. Discipline also involves setting clear goals and creating systems that support your long-term success. It's about deciding in advance what you need to do and establishing routines that make achieving those goals inevitable. Rather than relying on bursts of motivation, you build structure into your day-to-day life. For instance, if you want to become a better writer, you don't wait for the perfect mood or the perfect time. Instead, you commit to writing a set number of words every day, regardless of whether you feel inspired. The discipline lies in the commitment to that schedule, not in waiting for the right moment to feel motivated. By setting up these non-negotiable routines, you remove the need to rely on fluctuating motivation and instead focus on the actions that align with your purpose. One of the challenges of discipline is resisting the temptation to take shortcuts. Shortcuts might seem attractive in the moment, offering quick rewards with minimal effort, but they undermine the long-term benefits that discipline provides. When you're committed to the process of mastery, you learn to appreciate the incremental growth that comes with steady, disciplined work. This mindset shift is essential for achieving sustainable success. The rewards of discipline are not immediate but compound over time, and they're far more satisfying than the temporary gratification that shortcuts provide. Discipline teaches you to focus on the bigger picture, not the immediate pleasure or convenience of taking an easier path. Discipline also requires a high level of self-control. It's about resisting the distractions that can derail your progress, whether they're external, like social media and other people's expectations, or internal, like procrastination and negative self-talk. Mastery demands the ability to stay focused and committed to your goals, even when life gets in the way. It's easy to let small distractions build up, but discipline involves learning to say no to things that don't align with your vision. Whether it's skipping an evening of Netflix to work on your business or turning down social invitations to study for an exam, discipline is about making the tough choices that move you closer to your ultimate goals. It requires the courage to delay gratification and prioritize what's important over what feels good in the moment. A crucial part of cultivating discipline is understanding the difference between discipline and perfectionism. While discipline encourages consistent effort and improvement, perfectionism can paralyze you with the fear of making mistakes. Perfectionism often stems from a need for external validation or an unrealistic belief that everything must be flawless to be worthy. Discipline, however, frees you from this need for perfection. It allows you to do the work consistently without obsessing over every detail. When you focus on the process rather than the outcome, you embrace the reality that mistakes are part of the learning curve. Discipline helps you stay committed to your journey, even if it's messy, even if there are setbacks along the way. The beauty of discipline lies in the persistence to keep going, even when things aren't perfect. Discipline also fosters a sense of self-respect. The more you stick to your commitments, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving your goals. Every small victory, every task completed reinforces your belief in your own ability. Over time, this builds your self-confidence as you see that your efforts lead to results. When you can trust yourself to follow through, your sense of self-worth grows. This internal validation becomes more important than seeking approval or recognition from others. You don't need external praise to know that you are doing the work. Discipline nurtures your inner strength and resilience, allowing you to push through even the most difficult times. Discipline also allows you to prioritize your time effectively. When you are disciplined, you are not wasting time on unnecessary tasks or distractions. Instead, you are focused on activities that align with your long-term goals. Discipline helps you set boundaries, ensuring that you don't get caught up in things that don't serve your bigger purpose. It helps you guard your time and energy, making sure that you invest them wisely in the activities that truly matter. Mastering yourself means mastering your time, learning to be intentional with how you use it, and being diligent about how you allocate your focus. Ultimately, discipline is what bridges the gap between dreams and reality. It transforms aspirations into concrete achievements by ensuring that you take the necessary actions day in and day out. Motivation might fuel the spark, but discipline is what keeps the fire burning, even on the days when it feels like the flame is fading. Mastery requires a relentless commitment to showing up, doing the work, and making progress, even when it's difficult, even when you don't feel like it. Through discipline, you shape your future, and you demonstrate to yourself that you have the power to turn your vision into reality. Growth through pain is one of the most profound and transformative aspects of mastering yourself. Life is full of challenges and difficulties, and while it's tempting to view pain and adversity as obstacles to avoid, those experiences are often the very catalyst for personal growth. Struggling through tough times can bring lessons that are impossible to learn in times of comfort or ease. It's in the moments of hardship, when you're tested, that you learn more about your character, your limits, and your ability to overcome. Rather than seeing pain as something to be feared or avoided, true mastery comes when you begin to embrace it as a necessary part of your journey. When you're faced with pain, it forces you to confront aspects of yourself that you might otherwise ignore. Whether it's physical pain, emotional turmoil, or mental exhaustion, these challenges often trigger a deep introspection that opens up opportunities for growth. The discomfort that comes from hardship serves as a mirror, reflecting your weaknesses and pushing you to address them. For example, in a moment of personal loss or failure, you may be forced to confront your own vulnerability. You might discover the depth of your emotional resilience, or realize that you've been relying too much on others to validate your sense of worth. In these moments, pain becomes a teacher, revealing your blind spots and giving you the clarity to see where and how you need to evolve. Pain also brings out strength that you didn't know you had. It's easy to go through life without truly testing the limits of your strength, but adversity forces you to rise to the occasion. And when you're pushed to the edge, when you're facing a crisis or experiencing personal suffering, you learn how to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. This strength isn't just physical, often it's mental and emotional. Overcoming difficulties forces you to become more resilient. You develop a new mindset where you learn not to take things personally, not to be consumed by the weight of failure, and not to allow setbacks to define you. Through pain, you begin to tap into a deeper well of determination and perseverance, which becomes essential when striving to master yourself. One of the most valuable things pain teaches you is the importance of perspective. It's easy to become overwhelmed by challenges and to see them as insurmountable, but when you face them head on, you gain a new way of seeing the world. Pain can reshape your beliefs about yourself and your circumstances. When you realize that pain is not permanent, you understand that the hardships you face today are only temporary. What matters is how you respond to these challenges. Do you let them break you, or do you find ways to grow through them? The ability to look at pain through a lens of growth is a hallmark of true mastery. It shifts the narrative from "why is this happening to me" to "what can I learn from this experience?" This shift in perspective allows you to move from victimhood to empowerment. Additionally, pain teaches the value of patience and delayed gratification. In a world that often prioritizes instant results and quick fixes, growth through pain requires you to accept that some things take time. The process of healing, of learning, and of becoming stronger often doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual journey where the small steps taken daily eventually lead to significant progress. This process requires patience, not just with the world, but with yourself. It involves accepting that growth isn't linear and that setbacks or periods of difficulty are part of the process. The ability to withstand prolonged discomfort without rushing to fix everything immediately builds a kind of mental fortitude that's essential to mastering yourself. Pain also teaches the importance of vulnerability and surrender. When you're going through difficult times, you may find yourself fighting against the pain, trying to suppress it or avoid it altogether. However, true growth comes when you allow yourself to fully experience the pain, to feel it deeply without trying to escape. This doesn't mean that you allow yourself to be consumed by it, but rather that you acknowledge its presence and accept that it's part of your journey. Surrendering to the pain can actually free you from the emotional burden of resisting it. This doesn't mean giving up. It means accepting that some things are beyond your control and that your only choice is to navigate through them with grace. When you allow yourself to experience the full range of emotions that come with pain, you open yourself to deeper healing and transformation. Another essential lesson from growth through pain is the development of empathy and compassion. When you experience your own suffering, it often opens up a deeper understanding of the pain that others may be going through. This empathy connects you to others on a human level, allowing you to offer support and encouragement in times of their struggle. The more you learn to deal with your own pain, the more you can offer kindness and understanding to others who are suffering. This emotional maturity fosters better relationships and creates a sense of shared humanity, making you a more compassionate person overall. In addition, pain pushes you to reevaluate your priorities and values. When everything is going smoothly, it's easy to take things for granted, but when faced with hardship, you are often forced to look at what truly matters to you. Pain can prompt deep self-reflection and a reassessment of your life's direction. You begin to recognize what is truly important, whether it's your health, your relationships, or your personal growth, and what no longer serves you. This clarity is invaluable because it helps you make better decisions in the future, ensuring that you focus your energy on the things that truly align with your purpose. Lastly, pain helps you develop an unwavering commitment to your own personal growth. As you face and overcome each painful experience, you begin to build a stronger foundation for your future. The more you persevere through difficulties, the more you realize that you have the power to shape your own destiny. Growth through pain isn't just about surviving it, it's about using it as fuel to become the best version of yourself. Every struggle adds another layer of wisdom, resilience, and strength to your character, ultimately enabling you to master yourself. To master yourself, you must first learn how to control your mind. Your mind is a powerful force, shaping every aspect of your reality, from how you perceive the world to how you respond to challenges. The thoughts you think, the narratives you tell yourself, and the beliefs you hold influence every action you take. Mastering yourself, then, involves developing the ability to control these mental processes, to direct your thoughts consciously and intentionally rather than allowing them to control you. This is not an easy task. The mind has a tendency to wander, to dwell on the past, to fear the future, and to generate thoughts that are often not aligned with your true desires or goals. However, with practice and discipline, you can train your mind to serve you rather than hinder you. One of the first steps in controlling your mind is recognizing the power of your thoughts. Thoughts are not just fleeting occurrences. They are the blueprint for your actions and your reality. The way you think about yourself, the world around you, and the situations you face determines how you feel and how you act. If you constantly entertain negative or self-limiting thoughts, your actions will reflect that mindset, and your results will mirror those beliefs. However, if you cultivate a mindset of possibility, of resilience, and of belief in your own potential, your actions will reflect that as well. The first step in mastering your mind is acknowledging this connection and accepting that you have the power to shape your thoughts. A critical aspect of controlling your mind is learning to quiet the mental chatter that often dominates your thoughts. We live in a world that is constantly bombarding us with information, news, social media, conversations, and internal narratives that we repeat to ourselves. This constant stream of noise can create mental chaos and prevent you from focusing on what truly matters. To master yourself, you must learn to quiet your mind, to silence the distractions, and to bring your focus back to the present moment. This doesn't mean forcing your mind to be silent, but rather training yourself to redirect your focus when the mind begins to wander. Practices such as meditation, mindfulness, or simple breathing exercises can help you develop this skill. By regularly practicing these techniques, you create space in your mind, allowing you to observe your thoughts without becoming overwhelmed by them. Another key aspect of mastering your mind is learning to control your emotions. Emotions are powerful forces that can influence your thoughts and actions in ways that may not always be in alignment with your goals. Fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, and self-doubt can all cloud your judgment and derail your progress. When you learn to control your emotions, you regain the power to act deliberately and thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively to situations. This does not mean suppressing your emotions, but rather developing the ability to respond to them consciously. For example, if you feel fear when facing a new challenge, you can choose to acknowledge that fear and use it as motivation rather than allowing it to paralyze you. The key is to recognize your emotions as they arise and to make a conscious decision about how to respond to them. An important part of controlling your mind is developing mental discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay focused on a goal or task despite distractions or temptations. Mental discipline is essential for mastering your mind because it allows you to resist the pull of negative thoughts, unproductive habits, and distractions that might otherwise derail your progress. This requires the ability to create and stick to routines, to prioritize long-term goals over short-term pleasures, and to stay committed to your path even when it's difficult. Mental discipline is built through consistency, and the more you practice it, the easier it becomes to stay on course. The foundation of mental discipline lies in the ability to focus, to choose where to direct your attention, and to avoid giving in to distractions that do not serve your purpose. To master your mind, you must also develop the ability to reframe your thoughts. Reframing is the practice of changing the way you perceive a situation or challenge. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, you can reframe them as learning opportunities or stepping stones to success. This shift in perspective can have a profound impact on how you approach challenges. When you face obstacles, your mind may initially generate negative thoughts of defeat, frustration, or self-doubt. But when you learn to reframe these thoughts, you shift your focus towards solutions, growth, and resilience. Reframing empowers you to take control of your thoughts, changing your perception of reality, and in turn, changing your response to it. Another vital part of mastering your mind is cultivating a positive mindset. A positive mindset is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending that everything is always okay, but rather about focusing on the possibilities, strengths, and opportunities available to you, even in challenging situations. It involves training yourself to look for the good in every circumstance and to believe in your ability to overcome obstacles. A positive mindset doesn't mean avoiding negative emotions. It means allowing yourself to feel them without allowing them to define you or your actions. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong, you focus on what you can control and what you can do to improve the situation. This shift in focus leads to greater resilience and a greater sense of empowerment. Mastering your mind also requires the ability to detach from external validation. Often, our thoughts and actions are influenced by the opinions of others, whether it's seeking approval from others or comparing ourselves to those around us. When you depend on external validation, you give away your power. To truly master your mind, you must learn to validate yourself. This means recognizing your own worth, trusting your own judgment, and standing firm in your beliefs and decisions. External validation may feel good in the moment, but it's temporary and it can easily be taken away. Internal validation, on the other hand, is sustainable and unshakable. When you learn to trust your own voice and to rely on your own sense of self